What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video, and we're for another weekly Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 66. Now, I've noted this in the last couple of ROH TV reviews that this was taped several weeks ago, and I could tell because A, there's still Double or Nothing banners in the background, and B, they may note that this was in Vancouver, which they were not there last week because they were in Vegas. They were not there this week because they were in Los Angeles. So there's that. So that is why I'm wearing the throwback Vancouver Grizzlies hat. So I will say a result out of these last couple of reviews is that they have not been extremely long episodes. So let's jump right into it. And our opening contest is a Proving Ground match, Athena versus Viva Van. Test of strength to start the match, leading to a series of pins by Athena and an armbar by Van, but once breaking out of the armbar, Athena hits a powerbomb on the outside. Another armbar is attempted once back in the ring, but Athena is able to break out of it again, winning the match with a big forearm. Next match is another Proving Ground match, this one being the Undisputed Kingdom versus Nick Comoroto and Jacoby Watts. Now, I try to give everyone and everything a chance. But anytime I see this Nick Comoroto, Jacoby Watts gimmick or pairing on the screen, I do roll my eyes. Because Nick Comoroto, before Jacoby Watts, was fine and perfect. And I didn't really... Perfect's a bit of a stretch. But I didn't really have a problem with it. Because he was a good in-ring competitor. But now, just this whole shtick, just everything about it bothers the hell out of me. I guess it's a combination. I don't really get it. And I think it's really stupid. I think there's a lot of opinions I could share with it, but those are the two that come to mind. So they were able to get a Proving Ground match, though. Watts distracts his partner, leading to the Kingdom attacking him. And then once Comoroto breaks out and has the advantage, Watts distracts Comoroto again, and the Kingdom win the matchup with a Spicoli driver running knee combo with Watts never tagging into the match, and then he berates Comoroto after the match because this is what he wanted. So there's that. We get a series of quick matchups following this, the first one being Brady Roberts versus Sir Pentico. It is fast-paced early, with Roberts getting the advantage after hitting a backbreaker, but Sir Pentico's comeback concludes the matchup once he wins with a senton bomb and a roll-up. We get a backstage interview with Marina Shafir following her backstage vignette last week, and she asks Lexi Nair, does she know that she is a problem? Because she is winning against the top talent in these companies, and that they have not been able to solve her yet. And describes what people do with their problems. They try to avoid them. They try to not deal with them. But most of the time, the problems get worse. So take that how you will. Another quick matchup, this one being Red Velvet versus Kale. I could insert a Keenan and Kale joke, but I can't really think of one. And Kale's main attribute for this match is that she is very tall and taunts Velvet to start the match and hits a nice running big boot, but does not do much out of this as Velvet powers out of a suplex attempt and then wins the matchup with the Mix, which is a Shining Wizard that I initially wrote down. The Stir, a lot of her maneuvers and things are cake-related things. After the matchup, Athena's music plays, but it is Billy Starks who attacks Red Velvet from behind. Now, I occasionally search up ROH on YouTube just to see if there's any obscure videos that pop up, and sometimes my TV reviews pop up, but I don't know if that's just because I'm searching on my own account. But anyways, Red Velvet and Queen Aminata called out Billy Starks and Athena over a month ago because that video popped up and it still hasn't really been solved or resolved. I don't know when the hell we're going to see any of this come to a conclusion, so I just made note of that. Next one, another quick match. Zack Knight versus Sebastian Wolf, and I'm pretty sure the introductions to this match were longer than the actual match as Knight takes his time taking his jacket, his shirt, and his hat off, and then he headbutts Wolf after the Code of Honor and wins with a running fist. As now the show picks back up again with a three-way dance, a triple threat, whatever you want to call it. Lee Johnson, Aaron Solo, and Action Andretti are involved in it. It is fast-paced early on, with Solo being double-teamed by his opponents, but is able to fight back, including a DDT dropkick combo on both. He lands a foot stomp, all leading to a 2 count. And Andretti and Johnson take turns doing dives to the outside. Once back in the ring, they take turns reversing each other's holds, with Solo trying to get pinfall attempts after all of them. And then Andretti gets hit with a Johnson super kick, and Solo gets hit with an elevated reverse DDT for Lee Johnson to pick up the victory. As our next matchup is the Premier Athletes, Arya Daivari and Tony Nese, versus the Bollywood Boys. From the ashes of 205 Live, we get this matchup. The Premier Athletes and Mark Sterling make fun of Vancouver prior to the match, mainly noting that the Canucks lost in the playoffs, which I like watching hockey occasionally, but you couldn't tell me crap that is happening. But the Bollywood Boys came out in Canucks jerseys, but the Premier Athletes attack from the start with Gurv and Daivari starting the matchup. The Bollywood Boys are double teamed for most of the matchup, but they make a comeback, including a Herv dive onto both Premier Athletes on the outside, and then Gurv hits a nice elbow drop on Nese, but it is soon followed by a pump handle driver by Nese for the Premier Athletes to pick up the victory. And then after the match, they attacked the Bollywood Boys with the infantry making the save. Shout out to Carly Bravo, as he was wearing a Vancouver Grizzlies jersey, which, again, is the main reason I'm wearing this hat for this video. As before we get to our main event, we do get a match announcement for next week. A television title match, Dalton Castle facing current champion Kyle Fletcher, as Castle, I would say this is his first match since Supercard of Honor, but they in the promo package, they're like victorious from Supercard of Honor, but I feel like he's had one. I should have double checked that, but next week, TV title match, Dalton Castle versus Kyle Fletcher. As our main event this week is the Workhorsemen versus Top Flight. Henry and Darius start the match off with lots of arm drags between both. Most of the early portion of this match is the Workhorsemen double teaming and cornering their opponents. Henry hits a nice DDT on Dante on the outside, while Drake hits a running big boot on Darius for a 2 count. Darius gets the hot tag, finishing the match off with a spinning full Nelson slam to pick up the victory and wrapping up this 66th episode of ROH. So this was a okay episode of ROH. Nothing. I enjoyed the main event. I enjoyed the triple threat. Other than that, everything else was fine. So I'm intrigued to see what is on next week's episode, and hopefully it is fresh content. I would enjoy that, but I don't know if it will be or not. I don't know how the hell they've been taping this stuff the past couple weeks, so we'll see when we see. So I do appreciate y'all for watching this. Hopefully you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.